You probably may have seen some, some players sit in a bus, traveling somewhere to play a friendly game. I mean, tell me what it feels like, and tell me what the look and feel is like. Remember, we have a live stream right now on the Joy FM wall. It's Joy 997 FM. Place your comments there. We'll be glad to have them. And remember, it's 0244340437 as well. But just before that, let's talk about the people who have known true championship. And when I say true championship, I'm talking championship with massive dominance. The kind of dominance that is not common in sport. The kind of dominance that keeps you relevant for not 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years, but a whole decade. The kind of dominance that gets you relevance around the world. And the kind of relevance that gives you a place irrespective of which political party is in power. It is the kind of relevance that inspires a whole continent. Well, I'm talking about the Azumah Nelson relevance. Today we're glad to have the distinguished presence of the only professor in boxing, Professor Berima Azumah Zum Zum Nelson. So this year, as part of our, Year of Return celebrations, the thousands of visitors from all over the world will get to enjoy some very good boxing. So, under the auspices of Azumah Nelson Promotions, we will get to see another installment of, the very well-known Azumah Nelson Fight Night, and this will happen at the Bukom Boxing Arena, the iconic Bukom Boxing Arena, on December 27th. But let me share some food for thought from the professor. Now, he says that you need to know God to stay as a champion for a long time. Now, he speaks sometimes about how during his fight, one of his fights in Mexico, he felt a sharp pain at the back of his head. When he touched it with his gloves, it was full of blood. Now, he explains that it was a spiritual arrow that was targeted at his forehead but landed at the back of his head. And he said that the referee would have stopped the fight if the blood was coming from his forehead. I'm sure chills are running down your spine, right? Well, Professor, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a rare privilege to always have you here like that. Thank you so much. It's good to see you, and you look good. Thank you, great. And Berima Professor Azumah Nelson is here in the company of his, his PR and manager, Mr. Yausechi Afari, the CEO of Ride Sports, who brings us the biggest collegiate basketball competition and many other sports franchises. Yao, good to have you here as well.
Thank you very much, my brother. Nat.
Okay, so yesterday we had an official news conference to herald yet another installment and another season of the Azumah Nelson, Fight Night. But before that, let's just roll back a little bit to that moment. Sometimes people criticize boxers, and I want to even take it from just this recent fight that Richard Comey was engaged in. Do you think, Professor, that sometimes we the analysts, the boxing fans, do you think we put undue pressure on boxers considering some of the things you go through?
Well, I'm talking about the when you're talking about boxing,
yeah,
you're talking about coaches.
Yeah.
Before coaches, after coaches, before boxers.
Okay.
And if the boxers cannot perform well, then it comes from the coaches.
Okay.
The coaches have to learn how to teach boxing or how to taught boxing before the boys will go and fight. I always saying that we have a lot of champions in this country. We have more champions in this country than everywhere in this world. But because of the coaches, they have no experience, and we cannot. That's why we cannot keep the titles.
I see.
Yes, because like recently, this fight that Comey lost, it's all inexperience. So.
But don't you sometimes get surprised as champions? Because what happened to Comey, we've seen, it's happened to Mike Tyson, it's happened to Lennox Lewis, it's happened to a couple of, legends in the sport.
That's boxing. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. It doesn't matter how good you are, the mistakes. But mostly, if you have experience, some fights, that these are mistakes. Some fights, that this is inexperience.
I see.
Because if like coming fight like that, you see, when he throws the punch and the guy threw the punch, and when he threw the punch, he couldn't even look where the punch is going. And the guy threw the punch. I think when Comet threw the punch, when he threw the punch, he closed his eyes, so he can't see the opponent one coming. So he crashed with it and he went down. And when he went down, he's supposed to stay there for a while, but he just woke up and then he fell again, and that's the end of the fight.
Well, if you're just joining me, we're here taking the expert opinion of the professor, the only professor, in our relevance in sports when it comes to Ghana. You can send in your messages. Remember, we are here, getting ourselves ready for a big celebration of boxing at the Bukum Boxing Arena on December 27. Okay, before we go to the fight night, Professor, where do we go from here? I mean, now, we started the year well. We had at least 2 world champions. Now we're in December. Today is December 21, and we don't have any reigning world champion. Sad.
Yeah, so we're going to start again. We're going to start again and make sure we build the boxes back, and then we need to have good trainers to prepare the boxers so that we can become a champion. I always say that to become a champion is not difficult, but to stay there, that is the problem. And if you have experience, you can stay there for a while.
I see. Okay. So, what advice would you give to Richard Comey and Isaac Dugbe? Because for now they are in focus. They are the men who are immediately around world titles and within good ratings to fight for world titles.
Well, I want them to know that it's a game, and they lost the fight. That's not the end of their life. They should come back and then watch their fights, and see their mistakes, and then correct it and go back again. Because I know they can do it again.
If you just joined us, this is the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Nathaniel Attoh, and here with me is Berima Professor Azuma Zum Nelson. Send in your messages, and we are actually going to run you through another fight installment. Let's talk about promotions. I mean, you started this Azuma Nelson fight night experience some years ago. For you, generally, how has it gone in terms of what you have served the public with your with boxing fight nights?
Well, it's not bad. So far so good. We're trying to build these boys to become world champions. That's what we've been doing, and we had about 2-3 world champions, but now we lost them all. But we're going to start again to see. We believe that 2020 will be a good year for us.
2020 will be a good year for us, and these are divine words from the professor. I mean, when the professor speaks, you should know that it does carry weight. We'll talk about those spiritual things that they say happen in boxing. Yao, good to have you. Good to have you.
Oh, thank you very much.
And congratulations for a successful news conference put together the other day at the Leish in Accra.
It was good seeing you there.
Yeah, sure. Now let's go into the bill and what fans should expect for the big day. On December 27th.
Well, we've dubbed this the Year of Return edition, and it's because Professor thinks that with this whole campaign, with this whole celebration this year, with the numbers estimated. About 750,000 people haven't been in Ghana so far, with over 200,000 expected in Accra this December. We can't just showcase music and food and other things that Ghanaian. We should be able to showcase the best boxing as well. So that's why we call it the Year of Return edition. And so we're expecting a lot more of our folks from the diaspora to come experience some very good boxing, so they can go back and report on that as well. We so far We've so far enjoyed some support from the Year of Return Secretariat. Titi Brothers, your very good friend. Gol is also, he's a Gol ambassador,
of course.
So they're also helping in that regard. And APSA, formerly known as Backlist. Now let me run you through the bouts for the night. We have 6 exciting bouts. Of course, the top liner is the PBC lightweight and interim national lightweight contest between Michael Ansan, one bullet, stubborn fighter. He is fighting Benjamin Lamte, aka Daddy Lumba.
Okay, pause there. So Michael One Bullet Ansa, take away the showmanship that Bukum Bankun will give you. I think for now, Michael One Bullet Ansa is the biggest sell that we have locally, to sell to the rest of the world and the continent. He sold us a class act at the Bukum Boxing Arena when he defeated the then, reigning champion Sharif Kwe. That was some fight.
You're right.
Prof, tell me, I mean, you saw that fight between him and Sharif Kwe when he dethroned Sharif Kwe. Tell me what you see in Michael Ansan as a boxer, as an upcoming boxer.
Michael Ansan is a good boxer. He need that, like I'm saying, all of them need a good coach to direct them. If they don't get a good coach to direct them, I mean, they will go for a little bit and then they will come back again. They couldn't achieve what they're supposed to achieve because the coaches there are not.
Yeah. I see. Okay, so Yao, let's keep going through the list, and
yes,
One Bullet is surely gonna sell us a good fight.
Definitely. And another one, the second bout is the PBC National and West Africa Super Featherweight title between Felix Ajom, aka Alvaro, and Michael Papo, aka Junior Joshua.
Yeah, Junior Joshua. The reason is because he comes from the same stable as the former legend, the former world champion Joshua Clottey. I think he's even related to Joshua Clottey. So he sees himself as the Junior Joshua. That's fine.
All right, and the third bout.
But there's a lot of work to do if you want to become the Junior Joshua.
I know. Super middleweight contest between Ishmael Tete, aka Roy Jones Jr., and Delali Meleji.
Okay.
Yeah. And we also have international super welterweight contest between Musa Lawson, aka Awudade, versus Naimu Samson Aziz, aka Gode One. He is from the Republic of Benin. And international super lightweight contest between Faisal Abubakar, aka Poncho Power, versus Sosa Kujo. He is also from Republic of Benin. And the last one, Manyo Planche versus Isaac Tete. And this Isaac Neti, and this is the super bantamweight contest.
Okay, so let's talk about Manyo Planche. Manyo Planche used to be the captain of the national amateur boxing team. In terms of experience, I mean, he's been there, he's seen it, and has done that from the building blocks, which is the amateur level. He's been to the African Championships. He's an Olympian. He's been to the World Championship. He's built himself well. A recent health issue took him back a little bit, but I'm glad to know that he's back. But what I always keep saying about Manyo Planche is that, Prof, he is peerless here on the local scene. Honestly, Manyo Planche is difficult to get boxers to face him.
Why?
Well, he's grown well. You see, he's been taken through the mill, just like Prof is telling us. He's been taken through the mill, and he's solid. He's exciting. He's very, very creative in the ring, and sometimes he gets very, very unpredictable. Look, he's just a delight to watch, and I'm looking forward to that fight.
Yeah, Manyo Planche is a good boxer. Like you're saying, he's an Olympian, and he knows boxing. And he's very fast. And he can punch. So he's always busy when he's in the ring. Yes, he go in to fight. Some people, they go in and move around and do things and making the boxing boring. But when Manyo Planche enter the ring, you know that yes, there's action from first to the last.
Sure. Okay, so we're looking forward to it. You send in your messages 03022. Okay, so 0244340431. Okay, no. 0244340437. 0244340437. That's our text console. You can also just send your message there below our live stream here on Facebook.
Yes, Nat, it's going to be very busy, and you know the traffic situation in Accra already. I sat on Okada for the very first time yesterday, and I needed to do that. Else I've been late to a very important meeting. So we want to save people the hassle, the trouble of driving, distance to get a ticket. We're going high tech. So if you want to grab a ticket, the ringside, you are the ring announcer, so you know how Azuma Nelson Fight Night is. We create a certain experience, and for Azuma and his friends, all the celebs, all the business people, for networking purposes. That exclusive side is 450 Ghana cedis, and it comes with drinks and chicken wings. The other time I saw you chewing a few of them.
I was working, y'all. I was taking notes from Bob.
Yeah, I know. So chicken wings and whilst you're there enjoying the fight, by the ringside, it's 450 Ghana cedis. VIP is 200 and regular is 20. Now this is how you can get a ticket. Just go to www.ticketmiller.com. Ticketmiller.com, or it doesn't matter the phone you use. You're a big man, so I know you use very expensive phone. It doesn't matter if it's a YAM or it's a high-tech phone. Just dial *714*5*15#.
Go over that again.
It's *714*5*15#, and it will give you all the categories, and you follow the prompts. Pay with mobile, Momo.
I'm glad that this conversation is coming up, because later when we talk about the Ghana Premier League, I mean, our vice president, who was the guest of honor at the launch of yesterday's Ghana Premier League season, was talking about how he thinks that football clubs need to start going digital.
Yes.
And that's a conversation we'll be having later on here on the Joy Sports Link. It's amazing that,
We've also provided this phone number for those who want to grab themselves the VIP ticket and then the ringside ticket. It's 054-895-7306. 054-895-7306. And like I said, for the ringside and the VIP is exclusive, so we've got very limited tickets available, and so people should dial the code, the *714*5*15# to grab ticket now, and Champ will be very happy to welcome you to the ringside. We feel that for all the celebration and all the big conversation about folks coming to Ghana for the year of return celebration, it's an opportunity for us to also showcase the best boxing that we have in the country. So these bouts are special. You already know them. You've been working with these boxers, so you know that they are definitely going to give us a treat on the night. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people at the Bokum Boxing Arena this very Friday, is the 27th. The event starts at 6, and as you know, with the practice, Champ allows the young boxers, the kids, to do some demonstration before the main bout starts. So if you come in early, you will see the future of Ghana boxing being displayed there before the event itself starts. So we're excited about it. Azuma Nelson Fight Night this year. Let's meet Friday at the Bokum Boxing Arena. 27 is the date.
Let's give Prof the final word. I mean, you've been going back and forth, trying to put these boxing bouts together. This year we haven't had much in terms of promotions. I mean, if you compare it to last year we had a minimum of about 19 major promotions, along the calendar. This year it's been a little slow here in the system, and it's a bit of a worry.
Yeah, I think everything is slow, not only boxing. Everything is slow. But like I said, that's why I said next year, we know that next year, hopefully things are going to change, and we're going to promote more.
I see. Now, there are boxers around, scattered around the country, and I mean, most of them are looking for that single word of hope that can get them up there. What is it that you notice with our boxers of today, and what probably could be stalling their progress? What is it about our boxers of today here in Ghana, and what could be stalling their progress?
mostly they are not serious, and no discipline, and whatever you do, you have to be disciplined, and like I said, if these boys could be disciplined and we having a good coaches, we're going to have a lot of champions in this world. But gradually, we now start picking the boxers, to see if we see that you have a potential. We have to see how we can take off you, and so, because these boxers are there, a lot of them, they want to be boxers. They come to training, but after training, what to eat is difficult. They have to stop and go and find something, so they couldn't continue and all this. So we are planning to do something which we can put them together. We make selection and then put them together. And then we feeding them and then do whatever they want. They go to school, come back home, and then come to the gym. And but for 5 years, we can see what will happen.
Before you go, Prof, I mean, I'm still going every other day when I retire, and I'm retiring to bed. I try my best to read a line or two, even those I've already read from that book, The Life of the Professor. Prof, this thing about the metaphysical things in boxing, I mean, you spoke about how one day you saw blood at the back of your head. You were bleeding from the back of your head. And these things happen.
You can I mean, sports and everything is not only sports. Everything is a spiritual thing happens. And it happens to me. That's why I'm saying it.
Yeah.
And I know it happened to a lot of people. I was about to fight, and then that day, I'm feeling pains in my stomach.
I see. That day when you were bleeding?
Not before.
Okay, before that. Okay.
In the morning, in the afternoon, we are in the. We went to the dressing room, and I started feeling pains in my stomach. I was crying like a baby, and my coach was worried, and I told him he should go out. I had a sound. I had a sound tell me. I had a voice told me that I should pray. So I told my coach to go out, and then I locked the door and I prayed, and then I called him in. We got ready. We prepared. We are ready to go to the fight. We went to the ring. And
so you prayed alone? You didn't pray with your trainer?
No, I prayed alone.
Why? Was there any special reason why? Because he's also part of your team. He's your main man.
When it comes to coaching, he's there. He's going to hold the towel and he's going to hold the towels and
all the other things.
Yes.
But when it comes to prayer, it's between you and God.
This one is spiritual thing.
Okay. Okay.
If he's there, you won't understand.
Okay.
Yes. So I then we finished. I went to the ring, and then I was thinking when I went to the ring.
Do you remember which opponent you were fighting?
Yes, I remember the opponent, but I remember the name, and then I'll let you know.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And we went to the ring. When we going to the ring, I was thinking about my stomach, and I see. If this guy hit my stomach, it would be terrible, So, but when the bell goes for the first one, I forgot about my stomach, I forgot about my stomach. I don't remember that I having pains in my
stomach. I see.
So on the 6th round, then I had my back, my
a sharp pain.
Sharp pain at the head of my back. So I just took my hand, I just took my hand and cleaned the blood. I saw the referee is coming. The referee saw the blood, so he's coming to me to see see what is saying, whether it's true that it's blood. So when he's coming, I push him back, and I told him that this is nothing. I use my hand to clean, and then we continue the fight. And then 12 rounds, I finished the fight. We finished the fight, and I won on the points. And then we went to the doctor, and then so I have some 3-4 stitches. And then
So there was a cut,
yes, big cut.
and nothing physical hit you,
Nothing.
but there was a cut.
Yes, you can see the blood, but you won't understand what happened because there's no way your back of your head can get cut.
Wow.
Because there's nothing in the ring that will hit the back of your head. But those spiritual things. That's the reason why you have to give yourself to God. But it's terrible.
I see. Lessons from the professor. This has to become a segment here on the Joy Sports Link. If you haven't grabbed that book, go out there, go look for it. Professor Azumah Nelson makes major revelations. I'm not sure the book has even covered everything.
I'm telling you.
There
must be a second version of that.
Sure.
So I'm getting a few messages. People are asking if they can get tickets at the gate. Yes, you can. I can guarantee you that, but I think that come the 27th, we should make some tickets available, at the gate for those who are not, technologically savvy, be able to buy online and they still want to get ticket. They can call that number I gave out earlier. That's 054-895-7306. And Nat, before we leave the studio, I can come here without just mentioning basketball. We have something great, the Africa Basketball Festival
and now the Bukum Boxing Arena has been converted to a beautiful basketball.
Yes, so we're officially outdooring that. We did something with the Accra Mayor. It was called the Accra Mayor's Cup sometime last month. That was for a few high school students, but come the 24th, that's on Tuesday, from 5 p.m. under floodlight. It's Accra versus Tema. So the best basketball players in Accra versus the best basketball players in Tema. The girls are playing. There's a slam dunk contest. There's music. It's live on air. It's going to be fun. So for our diaspora folks who love basketball and want to network, and there's fashion, there's music, there's food, everything, that's going to be on the 27th. So we'll prepare the grounds for the big fight night on the 27th, but this is on the 24th. That's on Tuesday. This is very Tuesday from 5 p.m. Accra versus Tema. It's called the Africa Basketball Festival, and you should be there because they'll be very exciting.
A quick one before you wrap up, Prof. There's a message here that says, "Good afternoon, Nat. Please ask Azumah for me. What does he think we should have done about boxing in the past that we haven't done now? Sorry, we should have done about boxing in the past. And then what are our boxers of today doing right? We've talked about what they are not doing right, but what are the boxers of today doing right?" It's from Ajiman Joseph in Community 9 in Tema. Okay, what are the boxers doing right? And then also in the past, what things were we supposed to do that we didn't do?
We have to help the boxers. The boxers are lay people. They don't know anything, and then they come to you as a coach. You call yourself boxing coach. So they come to you, and then to coach them to become somebody, to become like Ikwate or Frekote or Azumah Nelson. And because they believe you, whatever you show them, they will do it. But if you don't show them the right thing, they cannot get.
Prof, another one. What do the trainers need to do? What do the trainers?
The trainers need to learn. They need to learn the boxing from the scratch. You don't have to. Wake up and then. A lot of trainers, they'll be in the corner.
Okay.
Yes, with this.
A senior trainer.
With a senior trainer, and then 2 months, 3 months, they quarry, they fight. So they separate, and then he goes and
becomes a trainer on his own. I see.
So you ask yourself, what do you expect if this man is coaching your son?
I see.
That is why we are failing in boxing now. Before, in our time, we have a lot of coaches. We have Atukwekrote, Rankre, a whole lot of them. Coach Agbana, and a lot of them, the good ones. So in our time, we have good boxers. That's why today you see that our boxers cannot go further because the coaches are not to the standard.
So then we need more training for the coaches.
Yes, for the coaches.
Okay, what do you think our boxers are doing right? Is there any particular thing you think the boxers are doing right?
The boxers are, when if I say they are doing right, it's like for them they don't have anything to do right. All they have to do is training. Training. Listen to your coach and then do what your coach is telling you. So they are doing what their coach is telling them, but what coach is telling them is not enough. That's why they couldn't. They couldn't. But what they are doing wrong is a lot of things that they're doing wrong, like discipline and seriousness. And they have to see where they want to go. And they just become a national champion, and you can't even talk to them again. That time to sleep, they don't even care about anything. They think they are in the world, they are world champions already.
Yeah. Prof, always great to have you here. Let's do a final message from you, a final Christmas message to Ghana and the rest of the world.
I'm wishing all the Ghanaians and the people who have come to us from outside Ghana, and I'm wishing all of them the Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. May God be with them and protect them in everything they do.
Thank you very much. So this has been Berima Professor Azumah Nelson. Oh, that lesson did chill your spines, didn't you? All right, so we'll be doing some more here on the show. So of course you have to follow our platforms so that we do some more in terms of the stories and the build up to that big fight night. It's the Azumah Nelson fight night for the year 2019 at the Bukum Boxing Arena, and this is the special year of return edition, so everybody has to be there. Okay, so let's get into some football business, shall we? Okay, but there's a message here that says, good afternoon, Nat, and the other guest. I really love the honesty of Professor Azumah. What our current boxers are lacking is discipline. Honestly, I was disappointed with Richard Comey losing the title. It looks like he wasn't prepared. We boxing lovers surely will be present on the 27th, and I hope in 2020 it will be better, just like Prof said. Okay, this is from Dunyame Eben and Bachona. Dunyame Eben, thank you very much. There's another message that says, good afternoon, Nat. Tell Prof I salute him. This is from Ayisi in New Achimota. All right, so the messages keep coming in. Just keep sharing them with us. Let's now zoom in on our Ghana Premier League. We are a few days away from the start of the much-awaited Ghana Premier League. And of course, here with me in studio is a man of many parts, very well known in media and sports media. So he's a senior writer and also functions very effectively within the space of football in terms of consultancy and in terms of administration. Jerome Autry is a very known name. He was there at the launch of the Ghana Premier League season yesterday, and he's got thoughts on what we should be expecting in the upcoming season. For me, one of the biggest takeouts from the launch was the charge by the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, for the clubs to take advantage of the digital space to make them more profitable. And that's the note I'd want to begin with Jerome. Jerome, thank you very much. Always good to have you here in the studio.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Now, Vice President Baumia has been charging, he's charged the football fraternity and for that matter, the clubs to start taking advantage of our digital space. We were just having a conversation with Yalsechi here, and he says that, look, now we're going to do ticket purchases by, and it reminds me of the period when Mark Noonan was the CEO of Accra Hearts of Oak, where a new kit deal was reached with Umbro, and the purchase of the jersey was done online. And I think that it was a great intervention. How ready are our clubs? I know this will be a difficult one, but how ready are our clubs for something like this? And can it be practical to say that we want to start this season?
I think everything is possible once you are determined to do it. The problem with our clubs, and I'm not here to just talk about problems, I just have to start from that point. The problem with our clubs, as I see it, has been how they do their things. Administrative setup, managerially, how they are organized. I do not think it has been the best. And so when you speak about these things, it's as if you are speaking of something bigger than them, because even the basics of setting up, they are not properly set up. So when you want to talk about digitization of even ticketing, it becomes a problem. But it can be done. I mean, if you look at how others started, they were at somewhere, they decided to move to a certain point, and they did it. We can draw inspiration from that and get things done. In fact, as I was coming here, I saw, Muftau talking about Liberty Professionals, and there's a game they are playing, I think tomorrow. And he's been able to purchase tickets online, and he's been displaying it on his page, urging people to take that path.
At Dansuman-based Liberty Professionals.
So the impression I get is that even before the Vice President came in to speak about it, Liberty had theirs ongoing, and that tells me that everything is possible. Once you say you will do it, you just have to look out for best practices, how these things are done. You learn, bring in the right personnel, they will lay the foundation for you, and it will be done. I mean, sometimes I look back on these mobile money stuff we have 10 years ago, and you can tell the sort of arguments we had when you go to send money and the money doesn't come, and there are fights. Today, it's more or less reduced or even non-existent. It tells you that that infrastructure there at that time was perhaps did not support whatever we were doing then. Now that infrastructure has been opened, more or less broadened, and it's able to support everything we have to do, such that you can even send money across networks. Previously, it wasn't done. All I'm saying is that it is possible if the clubs want to do it. It's just about setting up properly, bringing in the right people, the people who know how these things are done, and I'm sure we can do it.
Well, if you just joined us, we're here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM. Keep your messages coming in. There's one that's also asking whether Bukumbaku is fighting at the arena, today. No, that's, no, he's not fighting at the arena today. Okay, there's a message from Felix Adai, who's listening from Ohio, USA. And Nat, the legend is right. Comey lost from his corner. If you look at the Lopez's record, he finishes most of his knockouts between 1 and 6. So Comey's corner, if they had studied, Lopez would have advised him accordingly. And what was his business trying to get up when he went down? Best regards to the legend. And my supervisor is a Puerto Rican, and he knows Azuma very well. This is what global impact does. And the brand Azuma, Nelson, is all over the place, and he cuts across sporting disciplines. He cuts across, various spheres of our lives. And it's just great to know that he's Ghanaian, and we can associate with him as well. Okay, so it is possible. The clubs can do it. Let's talk about the general look and feel of the launch and what it's communicating to the rest of Ghana regarding where we have come in this journey of recovering our football.
I think it was, decent, well organized. It didn't start on time. That was perhaps the downside. But if you look at the whole event, it was well organized. I was struck by one thing. Immediately I arrived, entered in. People were eating and having fun, which was okay. Then we have to register. I thought we would be used, because we are used to just writing our names on sheets of papers and signing and going to sit down. This time they said no, you have to enter your name on some tablet. And I was wondering why. Now the message was that, look, we're moving from that era. So just pick the tab or stand by it, punch in the details,
Your details,
as
yeah.
it demands. And I did it. And I mean, everybody who came there did it. Once you do it, your name tag, I mean, your name and your media house or wherever you are coming from is printed right there and it's stuck on your breast pocket. And I was impressed. In fact, getting there and just getting into that scenario, I felt, no, something new is coming. I mean, there's something new with Ghana football. And I think it's important we talk about these things so that people know that indeed the new administration promised something new. And this is how they have started. Something little. It might not be anything so important, but once it's an observation that teaches you a departure from how things have been done in the past, I think it's important those of us in the media talk about it and then commend those behind it. So for me, that was the first major thing I found, I mean, as nice concerning how we do our things. I wasn't too happy with the fact that the program started late, but I think if you look at how the main speakers, the kind of messages they gave out there, and I was so impressed with Kurt. Not because I like him, but I think if you look at the things he spoke about, these are some of the things that some of us believe will change the face of our game. For instance, talking about our domestic coaches, I mean our coaches here, the level of experience and knowledge they have on the game. The fact that the FA is now prepared to sponsor 6 of them, I mean the top 6 in the Premier League at the end of every season, for me is very important. I was telling someone that assuming we will not have a monopoly where the top 6, for instance, for this season will be the top 6 for next season, what it means for me is that by the time they carry this out for say 5 years, we are likely to have 30 different coaches going abroad to study, and that is going to have a serious positive impact on the standard of our game when it comes to coaching. So for me, that was a major point. Then again, he spoke about referees. I mean, who doesn't know that the biggest problem, or one of the biggest problems Ghana football was facing was with referees and their competence. The kind of work they were doing when it comes to officiating. Kurt yesterday announced that even for the referees, 10 of them and their assistants at the end of every season will also have an upgrade in terms of their knowledge, their professionalism, and everything. And I think these are things that we probably have not taken seriously. But if these are coming in, I am very sure that if they will keep to their word, and for me that's about the most important thing after the promises, keeping to it. If they can keep to this and get it done, in the next 2, 3, 4, maximum 5 years, we should have some positive impact, some positive result from these decisions that they are taking. And the fact that it's not just going to be about the men's game, it's also an important feature we must speak about. The women's game, they're also going to see the same thing. And you and I know that the women's game compared to the men's game, it's really low. I mean, we can't really say the men's game is up there. But if you compare where the men's game is to where the women's are, clearly you know that the women's are really low. So if efforts are being made to also improve their lot, then again, we must commend the Football Association. But then, these are promises, beautiful promises made. I have the confidence that because they have said it, and I've seen what Kurt as a leader in our game has done in recent years, and I'm believing that he's going to keep to his word. He and his team will keep to their word and get these things done. If we can help them by constructively criticizing them, pointing out to them things that they are doing that perhaps may not be right, I'm sure in the next 3 or so years we should be feeling the fruits of their good work.
In the next 3 or 4 years, we should be feeling the fruits of the work of the current administration of the Ghana Football Association, led by Kurt Okreku. Remember that the league has been launched, and so we're looking forward to all of those big games. Of course, everybody talks about the big one, Kumasi Asante Kotoko vs Accra. Of course, that is match day 6, not too far away. Yeah. So we'll be looking forward to it. But
they're playing.
But you know, the other interesting thing as well. We'll be coming to the President's Cup in a bit. But the other interesting thing as well is that in this season there are other rivalries which will be rekindled and will be grown and will become potential big brands. I mean, they may not necessarily, rival, Hearts versus Kotoko, but then they will be strong and they will be major features on the league calendar.
And I was taking a close look at the league fixtures, and it is clear that some thinking went in there. In the past, we were told that these things were done by computers. I mean, it was computerized, so certain things could not be planned, which something I disagree with. Because you see, if we say there isn't much fun in our game, our game isn't as attractive as we want to see it, there must be some conscious effort to make it attractive. So whether or not fixtures were done by computers, for me, it's immaterial. What is important for me is to have those who plan our fixtures creating fun. And like you said, these are derbies, and in every country that football is played, there are derbies. You need to do something about these derbies so that people would look beyond mere 22 players coming on the pitch to play. And looking at some of the fixtures, I think in the BA, some of the matches there will be key to watch. Aside the high score, which we all know, it's always fun. And then the other thing, indeed we are in a new era, but looking at the fixtures, the fact that now we have 18 teams means that we'll play more matches, and then we're also going to travel a lot. I am looking forward to the situation where we move from postponement of matches. I think previously it was something that really did not help the progress of our game. And once we are talking about fixtures, I think it's important we remind the FA that if there is anything that, in my opinion, worked against people believing in our game, it was how fixtures were planned and we failed to stick to them. I am looking forward to the situation where, because dates have been given, as we sit here, we can't tell whatever will happen tomorrow, but once dates have been attached to these matches, if we seriously believe that people are going to follow us, what it means is that those people are going to also move by the dates. So if there is anything, it should be something that we all have no control of. So all the football administration should be doing this time is to move away from the things that kept us in the dark in the past and make sure that those things will not be repeated. And I am hating on this point about fixtures and how they are planned, because it is something that was not right. In the past, we can plan fixtures, to say somebody will die, a funeral will have to be held at the stadium, and matches will be cancelled. It is not done anywhere. Churches can hire the stadium, and league matches that have been planned for months will be cancelled. These are some of the things that took away the joy and the excitement that people expected in matches. Because sometimes you'll be told that this match is coming on this weekend. By Thursday evening, you'll be told it won't be on. And it affects even those of us in the media, because you will also have to plan. And I think these are things that the new FA must guard against. They've taken care of referees. They recently had the integrity seminar. I have said that seminar was important, but there's a message the referees must get clear. After going to sit in the classroom and being lectured for 4 days, you must develop an innate strength to really tell the world that this is what I learned, and I'm ready to let you know that I learned the rules and I'm ready to defend them. Look, this morning I was saying that there have been matches in this country where referees could give 2-3 penalties, but because of fear, lack of confidence, because of their own shady things, they will gloss over it, and at the end of the day, that will create a problem for fans and their teams. These are things the referees must guard against. If really we've had an integrity workshop teaching us how we must do our work, they must come out there and really defend their badges. We shouldn't go into those days when we were just doing anything. And even the club owners and their administrators. This morning I heard that there is now a new regulation that barred them from making unsavory comments about the competition. And then if you are found guilty of that, you have to pay 5,000 cedis or so. If it is true, I'm telling the new FA, the fine is too small. It is way too small, because I'm looking at a situation where we are trying to cut the corporate world. They come in to put in millions, and then someone makes comments that has the potential to destroy our game, and all that the person will have to pay is 5,000 cedis. It is way too small. We must make it more punitive, to the extent that you wouldn't dare do those things. Not if the Ghana Premier League, or if our football will be as good as we want to see it, it is not just going to be about what the FA will do. It is also going to be about what those of us in it supporting the FA will also do. And these are, I think, things that I think we should all take, notice of, and see how best we can handle things to help the FA.
The hashtag is bring back the love, and every effort is geared towards bringing back the love of the game of football here in Ghana. So the league has been launched. We're getting ourselves ready for the very big one, and on December 27, it's between December 27 and 30, the following games will be played. Accra Hearts of Oak will host Brekum Chelsea. Adriana Stars will play Inter Allies, and 11 Wonders FC are away to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Ashanti Gold play Great Olympics. Also, Bichem United will play Elmina Sharks. King Faisal are away to Dreams FC. And talk about Dreams FC, the club, one of the club administrators is here with me in studio. Ebusia Dwarfs will host Mediama, and Wafa play Karela United, who are led by our very own Eloy Amande. He was appointed sometime last week as CEO of the club. And Liberty Professionals, who have gone high-tech in terms of ticketing, will play Wa All Stars, who previously were champions of the Ghana Premier League. So these are fixtures to expect for match day 1 for the Ghana Premier League. I don't know why Olympics versus Ashanti Gold excites me so much. You know, when you look at the fans of the two sides, I mean, they are the most exciting set you could ever sit amongst when you're watching football. But that's where I welcome Aminu Shadow, who's an administrator of the Dreams FC side. Dreams FC, they are also looking forward to doing great things, especially from Deu, where the local economy has benefited a great deal from home matches and all of that. Aminu, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Nat. This is the first live radio studio discussions I've had since the epic victory of October 25th.
Which is
yes, the game changer.
So I saw you. I remember, yes. But let's go into that a little bit before we get into the discussion. Tell me, I mean, you were there on the stage when the first set of ballots were being counted, and if anybody is lost on what we're talking about, it's the election, the FA election that elected Ketu Kriku as president of the Ghana FA. So Aminu Shadow works very closely with Ketu Kriku at Dreams FC, and he was part of the campaign team as well. And he was there. He was the polling officer, the main polling agent for team Ketu Kriku, the game-changing team. So when the votes or the ballots were being counted, I mean, what was running through your mind? I saw this look on your face. I couldn't really tell what it was, whether it was tension, whether it was excitement, whether it was confidence.
It was a big spark of everything that you stated.
Okay.
We had a clear strategy going to the election day. We had a little few surprises, especially with the outcome of the first round. But then we knew exactly that per the work we've done and per our projections, we were very, very confident that we were going to come victorious. And for me, as a young person coming up in the sports, I'm very, very excited. I wake up every day very, very excited nowadays, because at this stage of our football development, I believe strongly that the kind of leadership that we needed in our game at this point in time was what we succeeded in achieving on October 25th. And I'm very, very happy and grateful that majority of the delegates saw exactly what we see in this man day in, day out. And it's not, for me, the excitement is not only about the man at the top. the quality of personnel that also got onto the executive council, who are now surrounding the president, giving him counsel, gives me a lot of hope. And already, if you look at the kind of innovations and strategies that they are deploying for our various for the various products of the FA, not only for the national teams but for the league, in particular the leagues, it tells you clearly that we didn't make a mistake at all. We didn't make a mistake at all, and therefore it is our responsibility, all of us, it's a collective responsibility, that we help this administration to achieve the kind of experience that we are all yearning for. It is very, very possible. I remember during one of our meetings when we were doing the manifesto, and the now president, the candidate then, was stating his vision, the kind of interventions, direct interventions he wanted to give the clubs, i.e. financial and logistical support. When we did the costing, we looked at him and we were like, why are you going to raise the money to? Because they were very, very lofty ideas. But he demonstrated to us that once we get our marketing and communication strategy right, once we educate the people within the industry, once our coaches are up to scratch, once we start producing good talent, who translate into good football, naturally the fans will come. Cooperate. It is a puzzle, and he demonstrated so well that if we are able to get this puzzle right with the passage of time, we'll probably even surpass the target that we've set. And it has been done before. In the past, we were able to get global sponsorship worth millions of dollars. So
there's some 1 million to start with, isn't it?
Of course. Already we started enjoying from the sharing of it. Yes, because the FA.
So you guys have your check. Wow.
It was paid directly into our account.
Wow.
It has hit the account already, and I can tell already we've even used it. Because no club licensing on our neck. We have to ensure that even though we are confident that they will meet the minimum standards, we also realize that the new regime, if you don't keep up and make improvements on your venue, you are likely not to play your matches, which will be a big blow to you. So that 50,000 has already been expended on making sure that the facility at the Woo is upgraded to at least another level for us to enjoy our football. So, Nat, in a nutshell, Ghanaians should be very, very excited. We should be very, very positive. We should be very, very positive. Look, there's a new wind blowing, and the kind of moves that the administration have made already gives me a lot of confidence that, given the needed support, of course, they are not perfect. They'll be making mistakes. But I'm very, very glad that so far the mistakes that people are accusing them of are either lies, blatant lies, falsehoods, trivial issues. They are not any major blip.
It cannot be true.
Yes, I think that's my opinion. I think so. So, but we should continue to keep them on their toes. I'm all for it. They have to be very accountable. They have to be transparent. They have to be judicious with the decisions that they make. But we also have a duty and responsibility to support them to achieve. Because once they achieve, it means we'll succeed in igniting passion and creating the wealth, which is very, very, very important in this industry. You need to create the wealth, which will be shared for all.
Creating the wealth. So that you can wear your boo-boos and on Friday you can share.
You understand? You know.
Aminu Shadow is here with me in studio. Also, Jerome Ochre is here, and we're looking ahead to the start of the new Ghana Premier League season. Aminu, tell me about we're going to do we're going to do a run through the fixtures. It's very exciting and interesting. I personally, I'm looking forward to. I personally come from an Accra Hearts of Oak tradition. I come from an Accra Hearts of Oak tradition, and it's just interesting sometimes when you look at our brothers here in Accra Great Olympics, who have 3 million accolades, beginning with the prefix Oli, and it is exciting. I mean, when you sit with their fans in the stands, it's just amazing the kind of analysis they do of the game, their kind of analysis on players, the kind of analysis they make even of their fellow fans in the stands. It's just amazing. I mean, they are politely abusive. I don't know whether to put it.
Look, we played a friendly against the Olympics a couple of weeks
politely ago. Verbally abusive.
The Oli fans are never violent. They will never jump the inner perimeter to come and attack the referee. They will never throw missiles onto the pitch. But the kind of sound bite you get from the stands. Very, very exciting. If you are able to just comport yourself and hit a chord with them, you will enjoy it. You will enjoy it. So you see the characteristics of this league. The return of Olympics, Kinfesa, some of the traditional folks joining the likes of Hasofo, Kotoko, Midiama, Ashgold. I think, look, we are very, very set for a very exciting league. I just hope that Jerome made mention of the new regulations. Look, if you read them, Jerome, I don't think you've read it. You've read through. Look, I've not read up to half, but I'm very, very confident that if you are able to enforce these regulations, look,
where our energy must
the
go.
excitement that the potential that this league this season has for us, if you're able to harness all the strategies and be judicious and keep with all the strategies that are being outlined, the kind of seminars that we've gone through as administrators, you realize that we went through the CMS training, the TMS, and the media officers of the various clubs went through some training. A lot of investment is going into these things because we realize that it is the way to go. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a puzzle. If you're able to educate our people very well, administrators, if the coaches were able to upgrade them per the reward system, which was announced yesterday, which Jerome made mention of, and coaches get to update their knowledge, it means it will impact positively on their teachings on the players. If you're able to upgrade our infrastructure through the club licensing and bring our playing surfaces to a certain level, it improves the quality of play. It will attract more fans, and when fans are coming to the stadium, corporate Ghana is interested, television is interested, which means there will be commerce. So this puzzle, that's why, like I said, I wake up nowadays very, very excited as an industry player, because I know that the direction we are going, if you're able to keep at it, believe me, in some few years to come, we'll be here and we'll be also drawing comparisons. People will be making references to the Ghana Premier League, how we started all over again. So I'm very, very excited. This season will be very, very, very exciting. Look, King Faisal are coming to the Theatre of Dreams next weekend. I've already told Anam and my father, Alhaji Gusa, that they shouldn't dare come with the intention of coming to pick a point, because we are dead sure that per the preparation we've given the players and motivation and all that, we should be able to take our first 3 points and then move forward to the next couple of games. I'm not going to look beyond King Faisal as at now. It's one game at a time. But in generality, I'm very, very positive that the kind of strategies that are being deployed, if everybody comes on board to support, and we keep at the strategies, and we make enforcement a benchmark of this administration, believe me, we'll go places.
Okay, going places. I don't know what your thoughts are, but that's the reason why we have our consoles there ready for you. So it's 0244340437, 0244340437, and that's on our WhatsApp platform, 0244340437. In a bit, we'll also activate the phone line so that you can join us and tell us what your expectations are. Let me just quickly run through the fixtures that Aminu was referring to a few minutes ago. Interesting fixtures, there's no doubt about that. I've told you which one surely is exciting me. So Accra Hearts of Oak will start off the action here in Accra at the Accra Stadium. Gladly, all the Cardi B movement is over.
The grass is back.
The grass is relaxing in peace.
It doesn't look that bad. They've done some work on it.
So once again, Accra Hearts of Oak playing Brekum Chelsea, who also have won the Premier League before. Aduana Stars, also former champions of the Ghana Premier League, they go up against Inter Allies. And Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they play 11 Wonders FC. Great Olympics. Oligbogbo are going away to Ashanti Gold, the soccer miners. And Dreams FC say that King Faisal shouldn't dare come take a point away. Midiama SC are away to Busia Dwarfs. Karela United, they play Wafa, while Liberty Professionals play Wa All Stars. Wa All Stars are also champions. And sometimes I look at Liberty Professionals and I say to myself, wow, I mean, after producing all of these great players, Liberty never won the league. They got close sometimes, but they won the top. I mean, they won the top 4 competitions and all of that. But they hardly have won the Premier League, and that's something that we will be talking about going forward. But Jerome, a general run through the fixtures, and it sure should spark some excitement on match day one.
Sure, and if you look at how the clubs are preparing, it tells you that they will be in for something. I mean, Shadow is talking about how they are planning to stop Kim Faisal.
One time.
and I can tell you that with Kotoko still signing new players, and Maxwell Kunedu, I mean, his second coming.
Good.
Look, there are things that if Shadow
leave Shadow, don't mind him, man. Let me just raise Alaji Grosso on the phone line. You keep quiet.
We seriously should be in for excitement.
Sure.
And like I said, you see, these matches will be played. The players will give their best, but the conduct of the teams. Look, if you take a look at how we've done things, it's always been about the football people, our conduct. And that is where the message must go to. If I look at our players, how they play, they really don't care about a lot of these things we are talking about. Theirs is to train and get ready to play the matches. The bulk of the work is about those of us talking about it, those of us taking decisions and planning. I am looking forward to a new behavior. No one should expect anything to happen if you are not going to change your behavior. There are things we all did. Look, you go to some centers and there is nothing but intimidation. I do not want to create any bad feeling here, but even in Kumasi, where you would think that the stadium is standard and there should be proper behavior, sometimes there is misbehavior. And I'm saying that these are the things that worked against all of us. So as we talk about Kotoko playing 11 Wonders, Olympics, Ash Gold, Dreams, Kim Faisal, as we go, we are just going to have fun, going to watch 22 players playing here and there. We should go have fun, come back home, talk about the game, and cut out everything that will cast the game in bad light. The problem, as we all saw it, was Ghana football being put in bad light, and it was being put in bad light because of our behavior. So I'm looking forward to a new life. We should do things that will enhance the image of the game, and not anything that will tarnish its image.
Okay, do things that will enhance the image of the game and not things that will tarnish it. And sometimes you draw quick reference from the English Premier League and you ask yourself, how many times do you ever hear coaches talk about referees? I remember, I think it was about 2 match days ago where, City has suffered a couple of decisions from VAR and, and the Sky, journalist was asking him about the VAR decision and also how the referee ignored what was a clear penalty. And then he says, well, no, that is for the referee. If he made a blunder, he made a blunder. No, I'm not going to talk about it. And, it's amazing.
I've heard Jose Mourinho being asked similar questions previously.
Yeah.
I think when he was at Chelsea or so. And, when he was at Man U, there were some of these things he spoke about. The journalist asked him, he said, look, I want to be available for the next match.
Exactly. Yes, I remember.
Yes. That's all he said. Because he knows that if he crosses the red line, the punishment will be there. City's coach. There was a time when, during that Catalan thing, where they wanted to sit from Spain and all that, there was a match that he came on the bench with a yellow ribbon, more or less sympathizing with his people back home. The next Monday morning, the English FA is answering him that, look, we understand you. You come from that part of the world. You can do your politics, but not in the EPL.
That's it.
That's sticking to standards. They will not allow you to tarnish their game with anything. And that is what I'm looking forward to. I think that we've done the right things somehow. We should all be confident that there's going to be a new life. But that new life must be seen in the way we do our things, and not just in speech.
Okay, so let's also get down to some of the messages here. I'm always delighted to listen to you guys. I'm really excited about this new season coming up in Ghana. I have made a vow to go outside Accra to watch all Hearts matches, provided it doesn't fall on a weekday. I'm rooting for Phobia all the way, and the Phobia he's written has 7 O's and 5 A's. Okay, so that's proper phobia all the way. Now, talking about Olympics, they're always a delightful bunch, with most of them being old men. We are on our way to Kumasi to teach Kotoko a lesson tomorrow. This is from Godwin in North Kanishi. Godwin, thank you very much for your message. Let's see if you are able to teach Asante Kotoko that lesson you're talking about. We'll be here to report it. And of course, here at Joy Sports, you have to be with us throughout the journey in these 35 plus games in the Ghana Premier League. We'll be bringing you previews, and we're beginning on television with packages. We've been visiting some of the camps. So Gary Al Smith, George Addo Jr. have done some visits to some of the camps, and you'll be surprised and delighted at what you see in terms of preparation. Jerome has already spoken about it, and we're going to bring it to you during the holiday period. We're bringing you special packages of preparation of some of these clubs towards the upcoming Ghana Premier League season. Okay. Let's activate the phone line now. Let's get you involved in the conversation. Okay, so it's 0302216541, 0302216541, 0302216541. Away from yours, that is Dreams FC against King Faisal. Is there any other fixture on match day one that excites you, and what probably will be your reason?
Expectedly, I've been very, very much consumed by my fixture. But when I look, I also agree with you with the Ash Gold Olympics fixture. it holds a lot of potential for excitement.
And I'm looking forward to the day when, the day when Olympics fans will back their talk with buying tickets to go to the stadium. Olympics fans.
The tickets.
Yeah.
Jerome mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
That initiative, I understand, is from the FA going digital.
Yeah.
Now they are piloting this program, this e-ticketing thing, and they are using some of the friendly matches. Liberty and Olympics are playing
the Liberty
tomorrow.
one is not.
It's the first of the piloted event that.
Aminu, hold your thoughts there. Let's get into the phone segment in a bit. Let's give the caller the chance. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Matt. I hope you're doing well.
I'm great. Thanks for asking. Please go ahead.
This has been Richard from tonight, man.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a lot of expectations for this coming league that is going to start. One, I want to see a very good football so that the discussions that we have been having with other leagues in Europe will die down a bit. I used to hear colleagues or parties discussing about Mediema versus Ashgold versus Olympics, and people, trying to go to stadiums, our stadium to go and, watch matches. Secondly, I wish the pedigree of Coach Maxwell would take Kotoko not to move out of the top four. Look at the coaches in the local scene. I think he has the pedigree both international and locally, and I'm expecting him to, either to grab the cup or to be in the top four. And also, security should be very tight. And now I want our referees to be on their feet so that we will enjoy watching the matches. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. 0302216541, 0302216541. There's a message here. It says, "Good afternoon, Nat. Why did you allow me to do politics with our football at this time that this new FA is canvassing for love and support? I hate this government." See, he says, "I hate this government externally and not ashamed to say it. Trying to play politics in favor of this government will put some people who think the same with me off." This is from Achu in Adenta. Achu, at no point did Aminu bring partisan politics in. Now, I introduced him as a member of the winning campaign team of the current FA president. That is a credential you cannot take away from him. He has spoken about what was campaigned on, the messages that were campaigned on, and those were questions that I elicited. So these are from me. We ask the questions here and we get the answers. Nobody has done partisan politics. It is about the policies that are being implemented here in the Ghana Premier League. So please, let's take note of that. Nobody's doing partisan politics here. Okay. Now, there's a message here that also says, have the Premier League fixtures been sent to betting sites and apps yet? Especially Flash Score. Not that I know of. All right. Let's get the next caller. All right. Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Welcome to the Joy Sports Link. My name is Nathaniel.
Yeah, this is Bell calling from Battery.
Go ahead.
Yeah. First,
can you lower the volume on your radio set as well, please? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Hello. I think it's okay.
It's better now. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Right. I just want to make this first contribution that if the new FA creates an office or a secretariat where they will receive people with ideas and contributions for the sports, I think that will also help, because I mean we've gone through all challenges and now I think we are over, but there are more things to do. So when a secretariat like that is open, one can just write a proposal or his mind or her mind to that secretariat, and then they can take it over. Now, with Accra Great Olympics, I'm Accra Great Olympics man. I have once played before, and what I like most is that I think this new football administration should bring it up. The very first team, that is Olympics, their second team is that day, and during those days, the first match will be played, that is maybe half Auroras, Kotoko, half Anochi, and all those things. Those one will precede the main match, and then from that place to it is a place of getting good players from the second team to join the first team, and sometimes we even enjoy the very first match, that is the second team, more than, because that is where you have to put a lot of efforts before you can go to that side.
Sure.
And then these are the things that will bring people on board. Now, another thing is that the fare. Now that we have been off for some time, the fare, I mean the tickets, should go down a little to induce people to come and participate in it, because a lot of people now, yes, have gone back because of how things went on some years back. But when these things induces them, entices them, and then they get in to come out with these things. So these are some of the few things that I think will be good for us to enjoy the football.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Prince, our next caller. Hello, Prince. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good to have you on the show. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I love the way you've reignited my love for the game. I want to say that this time around, we are not staying at home to listen to radio commentary. We'll be at the stadium and then support our own.
Yeah, but while you are driving, and when unfortunately, but let me just give you a piece of advice. Sometimes when you're in the stadium, the noise gets a little deafening. So you take your iPods and all of that, and you get your Dre headsets and get locked on Joy 99.7 FM when we bring you Match Day Live. You can't go wrong with that. So that one plus the ambience is just super. Okay, and Attoh has sent another message. He says, "Nat, please play back his submissions, and you'd understand what I'm saying. I don't want to say you didn't pay attention to him when he was talking." Okay, Attoh, I paid full attention to him, and so it's two things you're talking about here. It's the politics that I was expecting you to talk about, or partisan politics, colored partisan politics. Neither of the two. I asked him a question about policy, the policies that were campaigned on, and bringing him here meant that he was, bringing him here makes him aligned for this show because he's an administrator, he's a stakeholder in the game. And we bring him here all the time. We've been bringing him here to have discussions. We started off before he got into football. We've been having him here as a football administrator. We had him here while he was, campaigning. We still have him here. So let's not get anything wrong here, okay? All right. Okay, so has the proposal been drawn for matches to be decided on penalties, and has that been adopted yet? And when can we start buying by Momo? Okay, that hasn't been adopted yet, has it?
No, that's not. The discussions are still ongoing. It wasn't part of.
So I guess that this is something that will come up at the next Congress.
Hopefully, we are still trying to find the best way, because obviously it's a problem. Penalty taking is a problem. We just have to find the best way to address this problem, and that's what's ongoing.
Very well, very well. Let's go to Kwame, my next caller. Kwame, good to have you on the show.
Yeah, good to on my side. Good afternoon, everybody. I just think I got it wrong. We were all listening to the conversation from your panelist. Probably his candidate didn't win the GFA thing, so I don't know. We were all listening, so it wasn't partisan, it wasn't political. So I don't think what actually saying is right. Next to my thing, is the ticketing or also going to go on Momo?
Well, you see, it's going to be on a club by club basis.
It's on Visa and MasterCard and also mobile money.
Okay.
Well, I think that we should be looking at going Momo, because it's one of those platforms that a lot of people are on. I don't know whether you can chip that to the GFA to look at that bit also, because the Visa and the MasterCard, I don't think a lot of people are on it.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. And this is all in response to what the vice president has said. You know, the vice president has charged football clubs and the football fraternity in general to ensure that we all have, we go paperless, so that it increases profitability, and also cuts down on the leakages that we've always been complaining about. Isaac is my next caller. Isaac, good afternoon. You will be my last caller.
Yeah, good afternoon. I just want to know, because I heard him. Okay, well, let me speak in my longer language. TV rights and then radio rights. The person who said, and also because we know what has happened to the Star Time and then the Super Sport. And so now I'm pissing.
So, thank you very much. So you were asking about TV rights and whether whether the relationship with Star Times will continue or not. Well, as we speak, the TV rights deal for this upcoming season is something that has been put out. The FA is in conversation, is having some conversations, and should wrap up very soon, and would give us the final roadmap regarding who earns the major rights to broadcast this on television and all of that. So that's it on the rights. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Whenever the discussion is getting exciting, we run out of time.
I've never had this much fun in a long while. But just to say that I'm very excited that the football season, after a long wait, over an 18-month wait, we are back on track with the proper football season. The Premier League, Division 1 League, Women's League, the FA Cup, the Women's FA Cup. Let us rededicate ourselves to our products. Look, it's a collective effort. We can't just, whilst the administrators are doing their bit to improve the game, it's also up to us, the supporters, to also go and support our teams as passionate as we can. Void of violence. Let's support our team as passionate as we can, and then it also helps in raising revenue for our club, so that they can go and purchase the Cristiano Ronaldo that we always want. Yes, when you go and you
Charlie, you know what?
Have the money to also
ahead of match day 6. I'm looking forward to the reigniting of that battle of whose jersey is superior and better.
There are a lot of subplot teams which I really like. I'm sure in the coming week you will hear more of other plots. I'm plotting one for King Faisal.
I see. It's true. Dreams and King Faisal have similar colors, whose jersey is better?
It's a brand new collaboration. Shut the wall, it's attention.
Believe it or not, it has finally happened. Everything is possible. Anything can happen. Like Professor Azuma Nelson said earlier, anything can happen. Sabine and Shatawale, finally. So it's celebration. Before my final shouts here on the show, let me give the final word to Jerome. Jerome?
Well, I think we've said enough. Shadow said something very important. It is not going to be about what the administrators at the FA will do. It will be about what those of us playing the supporting role will also do. And I'm talking of good behavior, good conduct. If we can get that right, a lot of our problems will be solved. And then enforcing the rules we've set for ourselves.
Solid. Beat here in the studio. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll be bringing you a final show for the year where we'll do a big review of what's been happening, and also a start of the Ghana Premier League season. Mixed stuff, Exciting times are awaiting us in the Ghana Premier League. Thank you all so much for making us relevant all the time here on the Joy Sports Link. Thanks to the team here in-house, Selwyn, Bill, and of course the fair boy Dennis. And Komla Adum is doing to the left, to the right. That's the name of the dance. Let's send massive respect and love to the outgoing managing director of Carl Bank. A tournament is being played this afternoon at the Achimota Golf Club in his honor. Our cameras are there. We'll be bringing you the highlights later on television during the week. So congratulations to you, Dr. Frank Edu Jr. Congratulations to you once again. We are the multimedia family. Salute you for all the dedicated service and what you've also contributed to sport as well.
Well, I don't know, say it's a unity type of thing.
You know, from contributing to beach soccer and the construction of the golf course and upgrading it to a PGA standard golf course and all of that. Let me also say a very big good afternoon to the managing director of GCB Bank, Mr. Anselm Ray Soa, and the whole team. We had such a good time at Labadi Beach Hotel on the beachfront last night. It was great. And to all my friends at the Corporate Affairs Department, Emmanuel Kujokwatting, and the rest of the team, Sylvia, the rest of everybody else. It was wonderful. Okay, so people, next weekend we surely will be talking Ghana Premier League stuff. Time to concentrate on our own. So the President's Cup comes up tomorrow at the Babara Stadium. Would it be Accra Hearts of Oak or Kumasi Asante Kotoko? Well, we live to see. But it's time for me to check out of the studio. Komla Adum is ready with a swaggish posture on the seat to bring you the Joy headline news at 2.